lessons 83 and 84, Jingle Bells and Ode to Joy. Now with low twos. So again, we're learning the skill of a low two or playing a half step from regular one position, what we call a low two because it's low. And we're using songs that we already know, Jingle Bells, in this case, and Ode to Joy, pieces that we've played before and hopefully you've mastered and memorized, but now we're doing them in keys that you have to use low twos. So remember to do your best to play from memory. Look at your left fingers. Is your low two switching? Are you stretching the three after? Are you still able to keep your wrist from squeezing and going up? Are you able to keep your fingers, up and curved where the finger pad presses the string? Are you able to stand tall? Are you able to keep your shoulders relaxed? Are you able to keep a really good bow hold where your fingers are strong, but the hand nice and loose so it can move? Right? So there's a lot to learn even on this simple music. And the goal is to really master your positions and have good awareness so that when you get to more advanced music and you have to dedicate more brain power to figuring out what notes to play, you already have those good habits in place and you can make beautiful music. This is Jingle Bells. It's in G major. We have low two on the A and E string. There's a lot of repetition here. So again, try to phrase. Don't play the same repeated note the same way. So for example, the second line of Jingle Bells, we have 5 C's, then 4 B's, then 2 A's. So we're not going to play those 5 notes exactly the same way. We could use a little more bow, less bow, crescendo, diminuendo. It doesn't really matter exactly what you do as long as you do something. So you should produce a beautiful tone, you should play in tune, and you should also play musical. It should not be the same thing over and over again. Here's Jingle Bells, number 83. Did you notice how you had to go 3 on A to 3 on D, right? So again, we're not going to pick up a third finger. We're going to roll it over. So for example, this is the third measure of Jingle Bells. In the first line, the notes are B, D, G. You'll notice how I go from 3 on A. I'm not picking up my 3. I'm rolling over, and you'll notice how my elbow has to come out. In order for me to get the 3 on the D string, my elbow come out. So if you were to look at your left hand, on the G string, your elbow is going to be a little bit more in front of the violin. D string is going to be under, A string a little bit under and back, and E string a tiny bit behind the violin because the fingerboard of the violin curve, and your fingers should be perpendicular, or they should be up at a right angle. They shouldn't be flat, and they shouldn't be overextended either. They should just be basically perpendicular, just like a tree stands from the earth. Your fingers should be the same way. They should be like little trees. And again, they're not going to be exactly 90 degrees. Everybody's fingers are different. If your fingers are long, they can be perfectly up. But if they're shorter like mine, they have to be slightly bent. So the idea is just to keep them round, relaxed, and strong. So here's Ode to Joy. We'll start with 1 and A, and then we have a low 2. There's no fancy slurs or dotted quarter notes here. This is a simpler version. So again, focus on your left hand position, focus on low 2s, stretching your 3s, making sure that there's forced vibration, and really just keeping, being mindful of your great posture, being relaxed, being tall, and producing, most importantly, a beautiful sound with in tune notes. Ode to Joy, number 84. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this all makes sense. I hope you're enjoying the explanations and why things are hard. My biggest issue when I grew up is I was just told when things were difficult, just we'll practice more, repeat it 100 times and it'll get better. And so I spent my entire life trying to figure out, well, why are these things challenging, right? Just doing something more times for me isn't really good advice. So to understand why things are difficult, why mistakes happen, and then so you can fix them in your mind as you play, for me is the ultimate way to learn. It's fun, it's creative, you're problem solving, and you don't really have to repeat something 100 times in most of the time to really fix something. The biggest challenge is to know what is the problem that's happening and then why it's happening, and so that way you can actually fix it for good. Thanks for watching. In the next lesson, I'm going to learn about triplets. See you then.